Hello everybody, welcome back for some more Doom: The Dark Ages. We're now in episode 13 of all things, and chapter 18, I think. So we're getting pretty close. We're in probably, honestly, in my opinion, one of the harder levels of the game. Only for, well, okay. Not hard level, but there's like one specific part that always seems to give me some trouble. Actually, you know, honestly, yeah, I'd still say the level's probably one of the more difficult things too. This part's a little weird. You just gotta dash through that. I remember, weirdly enough, struggling to figure that one out when I first played the game. Back in the old times, back in the old days when, Doom: The Dark Ages first released. Just kidding, I never got it on release. Now, it took me a while before I actually got Doom: Dark Ages. Not gonna lie. At least a few months. I remember, like, when it first came out, I'm like, oh, I'll wait. I'll wait for it a little bit. And then I just caved in. I said, alright, fine, that's it. I need to play it. I gotta play it. And then I did, and I haven't regretted it, so. I guess, I don't remember if it's, like, what specifically is helping me gain shock. I don't think it's technically my weapon in question. I know that, obviously, I do have a weapon that does give shock. However, I don't remember ever having it on the Ravager or whatever it's called. Yeah, it's kind of dumb that I keep forgetting the name. Just a bad habit of mine, it seems. I think this might be one of the few... Well, I mean, there's still an extra level. I think there's like maybe... There's a mech section. Either after this level... I think it's directly after this one, actually. Might be wrong. That's actually pretty fun. Not gonna lie, It's funny, because usually I don't like that type of stuff in games like this. I don't like having these extra missions. I just kind of... I know it sounds dumb, but maybe it's because I'm a Dynasty Warriors player. But I don't mind having a game where I could just kind of just play it. And... yeah, I saw that one coming. It's going to happen a lot. We are playing a Nightmare, so it's going to happen. But, I play a lot of Dynasty Warriors, so repetition is kind of something I'm used to. However, of course, if that's the case, I usually won't play a game for very long. Usually when it comes to a Warriors game, depending on if I really like it or not, I'll probably go through it at a good, brisk pace. I did that with Origins. Dynasty Warriors Origins, sorry, I should be more specific. I did that with Origins, and I liked Origins, actually. But I don't remember if you can switch characters or not. I don't think you can. Which is very bizarre because it's a Dynasty Warriors game. You're supposed to be able to have a bunch of characters to play. Yeah, that's a sort of, I guess you could say, pseudo weird factoid about me. As I do enjoy the Dynasty Warriors games quite a bit. I'm looking forward to Hyrule 3 coming out. I need to play better than this right now. I need to focus on who I want to attack first instead of just dicking around and hoping for the best. See, that's the problem with me, though, is I end up attacking a bunch of things that I could just not focus on just yet and, give myself some room to breathe and keep enemies away. Because even though Dark Ages still is an aggressive game, all things admittedly, it's still, for what it's worth, not super difficult, like with enemies just constantly attacking you, unless you're playing Ripatorium and then you turn everybody on at once. Which, by the way, that's a cool update. I haven't really played around with it much, but I do like it. Basically the new Horde mode of the game, which is nice. I like having things like that. Extra little things you can just play around with in games is always kind of neat. God of War had that, actually, back in, I think, God of War 2. But that's where that's where you can get the Cyclops eyes if you're going for those. So pro tip there, if you're looking to get all the Cyclops eyes from God of War 2, that'd be one way to do it. I'm going to switch to combat here so I can get some armor out of this. Even though armor doesn't really ever help much, it seems, because it usually just kind of ends up disappearing anyway. Alright, I forgot to look up what our missions were. Complete the optional counter and parry Cosmic Barons 10 times. Oh, God. Which basically it's these assholes. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Okay. I know it might sound like I'm lying, I'm not trying to, but I swear to you, when Nightmare first came out, maybe I was just better at the game by then, who knows? Because I already had played it, you know, and I already gotten kind of used to pretty much everything. But, sorry. When this game came out, I beat it on Ultra Violence, as one does, of course. And then, after I did that, I went through and I was like, I could probably handle Nightmare Mode. I want to go see how hard Nightmare Mode is, because like people keep saying like it's kind of somewhat easy enough, I guess. So I was like, oh, I'll give it a shot. And so I did. And then I was like, yeah, it's actually relatively quite not that hard. And I had a pretty okay time with it in the beginning. But for some reason, right now, maybe it's because they truly did update it, because I don't know. I mean, we did get an update, but I'm not sure if the update in question affected Nightmare Mode's difficulty or not. I'm not sure. And it's starting to kind of maybe feel like it. But then again, it could just be a case of maybe, like, at the time I was playing the game, I was already better. Or maybe I never noticed how... God damn. Maybe I never noticed how bad I was at the game. You know, that could be possible. I might as well just whip out the fucking BFG at this point. Just to get on with it. Yeah, that stomach encounter, I don't think I've ever found out exactly where it's supposed to be yet. I could have sworn I know. Because I have an idea of where it is. But I feel like every time I go do it, I don't end up actually getting it to unlock for some reason. I don't know. It could be a case of, again, I'm just playing the wrong mission and didn't really realize. Okay, so this guy is alive here. So that's the thing, though. Like, when it comes to these imps that are invisible, these stealth imps, you really do want to go for that parry, or at the very least, you know, chuck a chainsaw at him. A shield at him, I mean. The same thing, technically speaking. Yeah, see, if you just do this, if you just constantly fight between and, you know, you know, small waves or whatever, really kind of pace yourself here and throw your shield at the more so mid-sized enemies, in theory, you should be able to effectively beat these guys a lot better. It's just all about, like, not pissing off everyone at once. And I was trying out the horde mode thing, and I turned everyone on at once. Had every enemy on the fight at once, and, yeah, they were coming after me big time. No doubt. But, of course, when you're playing campaign, arguably, you don't have to worry about that too much. One update I do like is they actually fixed the speed at which you change weapons, which is very nice. Because weapon swapping is a big thing, of course, in Doom. You kind of need it as much as you can possibly get your hands on it. And, of course, this weapon here I'm using does have a boost thing to it, which is nice. I should probably kill this guy because he's going to be a problem, I just know it. Get rid of that armor. Forgot that my shotgun also gives me, or my super shotgun gives me armor too. I kind of forget these things from time to time. Let's go for that Heaven Splitter. Yeah, we need to parry the Baron like 10 times, the Cosmic Barons as they're called now. Which is not too hard to do. They are quite fast though. They're probably one of the fastest things to realistically deal with in a game like this. But they're not that bad. And honestly, if you want to get, you know, if you want to get the parries off that easily, just keep resetting or keep dying and just reset checkpoint or something if you really wanted to. But there should be, in theory, plenty of these guys rolling around anyway, so... Okay. Yeah, that's what I hate about these guys. They never get attacked. They never get hit by their own thing, which is really annoying. Although, I could have sworn that Heaven Splitter should be able to appear. That does happen, but maybe I don't. If things get that bad, if I'm getting, like, close to being dead, like, realistically close to being dead, like, if I know for a fact I'm gonna die soon, I'll probably just go ahead and mess with the BFG in case. So I really don't want to die. I also need to stop standing where things are being shot at. That's just kind of a problem of me. Oh yeah, this was the leader, so it took me 9 minutes to do all that. Good lord. But yeah, hey, I have to admit, I'm kind of glad that Nightmare Mode is actually difficult, because when I first played it, it never felt like it really was that difficult. But then again, it could just be a case of maybe I was playing it better. Who knows? It would have been probably smart to do, well, I mean, not really a blind Nightmare run. I don't think that would have been a good idea. I don't really like doing things blind very much, as I'm sure most people might know. If you have been around my channel long enough, you definitely notice, like, yeah, he's not a big blind type guy. We don't need that yet. I'm trying to get this. There it is. Very nice. Let's see. There's a thing up here, which of course we can just do this to get up there. Ah, damn. There we go. Also, my day has been certainly, I guess, a day. Not much of a big one, but I went out to go get my oil changed in my car because I don't have the method to be able to do it myself, because I kind of have like a hill, so not the easiest thing to do on it. Plus, my car is too new. We don't really know what to, you know, do for it. That's just a skill issue, pretty much. But I went to, you know, a place to go get it done, and they actually, so what, you know, I was like, oh, I'll leave it here. You know, I'll hang about. I'll do all that. I'll wait for it to get done. And then there's like I saw some chairs were outside, like outside. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just go sit over there then, because I couldn't find a place to sit inside. So I just said, screw it, whatever, I'll just go sit outside then. And I'm out there for like an hour, just in the, I wouldn't say the blazing heat, but I was out there for an hour, like in the heat, just sweating my ass off. And I'm looking around, I'm looking for like a place that could be possible to sit inside of. I mean, there is places to go into, but they're for different reasons. And then it finally occurred to me, like, as soon as I got my car done, I noticed that, like, around the area where you're supposed to get it done at, there was actually a place you can go in and sit down. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Of course I would do that. So, yeah, I'm kind of dumb, to be fair. But I'm tired. You know, I didn't want to fuck with it. I don't know. I had this issue, this social anxiety issue, I guess, where I don't want to go and look for things because I feel like I'd be intruding on stuff, and so I end up not doing it. Yeah. Even though it might not seem like it, because sometimes I do kind of present myself with more of a bit of a confident outlook on things. I do still kind of get, you know, anxious about doing things sometimes. Because I don't like walking into places I'm not supposed to be at, or at least I don't think I'm supposed to be at. And then I hate to ask questions to look like an idiot that doesn't know what he's talking about, so. God damn. Sorry about that again. Not supposed to do that yet. You gotta do this first. Yeah, it's early morning recording stuff. Not even early morning, it's like afternoon right now. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I could have sworn that there's a thing you can grab here, but I think that's... Yeah, to get that, you have to go, I believe, up here first. Yeah. Also, for those that are interested, I know it's quite hefty, but I like having PS Plus because, one, I can play online, which I think is stupid that you have to pay for online. Because, you know, back in the day, again, I sound old as shit, but back in the day, PS3, you never had to. You just play the game. But, of course, Xbox had it to where you actually had to pay online. But they made it to where it's like, oh, it's more, you know, for security reasons. And then, funny enough, I can stop standing on that cord. That's a bad cord to stand on. I think PlayStation was the one that ended up doing the same thing, too. They're like, oh, yeah, we're going to do this for security reasons. Because they did get hacked back in, like, 2011 or whatever it was. So, that sucked. But we got some free games out of it, so I guess it's kind of cool. Like, actual free games. Of course, I did have one of them already, which was Infamous. I already had it at the time. I love Infamous 1. It's a good game. One of my all-time faves. Like, unironically. One day I would like to do maybe a Let's Play of 2, but that begs to be seen, I guess. Anywho, so on PlayStation Plus, because I don't know why this area reminded me of it, but Lives of P is now on PlayStation Plus, so if you wanted a monthly free game, there it is. I'm not going to say whether or not PlayStation Plus is worth it or not, because in my opinion, I mean, I get, well, with how much you pay for it a year, it's ridiculous. I don't think it's worth much at all, in all fairness, but there is a lot of games that you can play. Like, I play a lot of retro stuff too, so having the option to have that stuff around is nice. And you might think this is weird, but I actually think that Nintendo Online is worth it. The whole $50 online a year, I think that is hella worth it. Because I get, you know, access to GameCube, 64 games, NES, Super Nintendo, and with the Rewind feature and everything else, it's just like, it's quite nice. I kind of quite like having it around. I know for some, like, Rewind feature is kind of a little douchey, but for me, I don't mind it that much. But I do understand the sentiment of why people might not like it. Or like the idea of people having it. Because a lot of people that played those games back in the day couldn't do that. And no, I totally understand too. You know, I can empathize with that. I totally get it. Because sometimes even I'm like always talking about how games are supposed to be played, I guess. Although, to be fair, anybody can play a game any way they want, of course, but I do feel like there's always like a level of intended way, quote unquote, to play. And usually that kind of reflects, at least, I don't know, whatever the devs intend. But if the game allows you to have a thing inside the game that lets you play in easy mode, then is it really not intended? But then again, there's always the thing of, like, you know, normal mode, or even for games like Halo or whatever, it's like, well, hard mode is what the devs recommend for Halo players. So it makes sense to want to play on hard. But, I mean, to be fair, anybody can play however they want, I'm just saying. But there's definitely certain games I think that don't actually need a true, quote-unquote, actual easy mode. And that being, of course, the Souls games, because they do already have an easy mode. It's just people don't want to try to play the game to find it. I'm not trying to shit on anybody specifically. I'm just saying in general that that's just a thing that I've noticed people tend to do when it comes to Souls games. It's like whenever they go to complain about there's no easy mode this time, it's like, but there has been an easy mode the entire time. Usually it's magic. That's typically the easy mode for a lot of people. Although for me personally, no. I mean, I don't think magic's easy mode. I think strength is easy mode if you're going to strength build. And that's why I kind of like the Souls games, where they never back down from the idea of, like, they never give in to people wanting an easy mode, because in all honesty, I mean, the games are meant to be something you kind of just figure it, you know, you figure it out. That's like having a puzzle game, and in that puzzle game, you have an easy hint puzzle, or like a solve the puzzle for me button, and then it just does that, and people would say like, well, I'm glad I had that, because whew. And it's like, well, what are you playing a puzzle game for then, if you're just going to use a thing to solve the puzzle anyway? But that also depends too, because I do feel like there are like, okay, so I'll use an example here. Mystery Case Files is like an older PC game that my mom plays quite a bit of, and you know, I played a bit of it too. I kind of like them enough. They're neat. They're basically I Spy games. You just find shit around, that kind of thing. And they do actually have a clue button, but it does actually drain your time. The clue button, all it does is it just literally will point out where an item is that you need to find. And I feel like things like that are not that bad, because it's not really solving the entire puzzle for you. It's just giving you like, alright, well, here's this thing, here you go, have a free clue, and it also, you know, eats up some of your time on it, so there's at least something that's affecting it. And the way I'm explaining all this, once again, like usual, sounds weird and dumb, but it makes sense in my head. Killed by the Doomslayer. No, I'm surprised this game does not have multiplayer, though. I mean, Doom 2016 had a great multiplayer. Eternals was fine, it was neat, but I didn't play it all that much. I thought it was cool, though, but that's about it. It was just kind of a, it's just there type thing for me. Like, I like interesting type things. Alright, but anyway, to go back to my topic here to kind of give my point. Something to stand on, I guess. Well, what I mean by puzzle stuff is, if you're doing, like, let's say, like an actual escape room, you know, and the point of it is to try to figure it out, I think getting a clue then... Not that you can't do it, I'm just saying that I don't think... You know what, I don't think even an escape room makes even that much sense. Ugh, I don't know what I'm trying to get out here, but either way... If you got a puzzle game and it just solves the entire puzzle, then that just, for me, kind of deletes it. But if you solve, like, pieces of it with hints or clues, I don't think it's that bad, I guess. That's what I'm trying to get at. But it really depends. Listen to me try to sound gatekeepy again. I'm not even trying to, it just happens, man. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Because everything I say, I end up just being a hypocrite anyway and probably end up doing it myself. So it's like, I can't tell other people not to do it when, you know, sometimes I do it myself. Like, sometimes I'll play you know, Zero Escape, right? I'll play Zero Escape or whatever, and then I try, because I'm a little bit stubborn, I try to figure it out on my own as much as I can, and then all of a sudden, like, my brain just fries, and I'm like, you know what, fuck this, I'm just gonna look it up. And then I'll be like, oh, of course. It was that the whole time. I was going to say, I don't know how you're supposed to do this. I remember, I think I accidentally glitched through it one time where I ran through and clipped through the ground or something, and then just all of a sudden the game just gave it to me. I could be wrong. That could be somewhere else I'm thinking of, but I could have sworn that happened. I guess another thing to go back on that tangent I was talking about. One thing I don't like is if you're doing something that affects somebody else during that game. So say you're playing a puzzle game, like a co-op puzzle game together, and then one person's trying to figure out the puzzle themselves, and the other person's just like, fuck it, let's just look it up, fuck it. You're like 5 minutes in, he just gives up already, and it's like, well, that kind of ruins the fun, you know? But then it also kind of comes back to the point, too, like, for me in question, is, like, my stubbornness would want to try to figure it out. Because my pride's on the line, I guess. But, my dumbass would try to... Oh, here's that. I think we fucked up. I think we missed the stomach area. Anyway, so... My dumbass would be too stuck with it, so it's like, there's a certain level of, alright, you know, your stubbornness has gotten us this deep. We can't figure out, you know, I want to move on, I want to do something else. It's like, okay, at that point, I guess it's fine. Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of cheating, but it depends on who it's affecting, I guess. Obviously, if it's like a sport or something, then no, of course, you shouldn't really do that. But if you're playing like a friendly game with somebody and they decide to cheat, like actually cheat, then at that point, or at least do something that's kind of douchey, you know, at that point it's like, okay. I don't think that's cool. I think we got the mastery done for the pincushion stuff. Yeah, just like everything in life, everything really depends on, well, what's happening in question at that point in time, I guess. I wish these guys count as barons, but they do not. Just gonna go for a wackatoo. A wackadoo. There. I had to find an opening first. That was a problem. Yeah, we come back here, and you don't have to, I think, do any of the specific stuff that we did before. Like, we don't need to worry too much about going back and getting any extra secrets or anything around here. I don't think so. Everything should just be, in theory, collected outright. So, yeah. Because I don't think there's any reason to go back here and do anything, though. I don't believe so. I mean, we can walk through it, which is neat, but that only just gave us a key anyway, so there's no point. You know, now that we have the Neo trilogy, basically, of Doom technically completed. I'm kind of wondering if we ever got a fourth game, what would it be like? Because the first game was, I would argue, the platformer. As much as it's not really that, I would give it the case of it's the platformer. I think that's something I would probably give it. Yeah, regardless. To me, it makes sense. It's the arcade shooter. And then Doom Eternal is like the fast-paced action in-your-face shooter. And Doom Dark Ages, yeah, Eternal's aggressive. And then Dark Ages is, I guess, management, maybe? You're just kind of managing enemies, and you're managing what you're doing and watching yourself more so than anything. It's not super hyper-aggressive like it was in Doom Eternal, though. It's a lot more comfortable than it. Get the fuck out of the way. Although, in all honesty, item management, I think, is more of a Doom Eternal thing, because you really realistically do have to manage yourself quite often. Like, at every point. But if you're just doing constant switching around, you should be fine. Like, if you... Okay. If you know when to switch, like, what weapons work great where or whatever, and you're constantly switching weapons, in theory, you should be A-okay. Did we ever get the challenge done? We did, somehow. Yeah, I still don't know where the stomach thing's at. I think it was in the area I was at before. Well, we got the challenge done, at least. And thank goodness, whenever you die, you do keep the challenges. You don't have to do them over again, which is nice. Okay. He just stomped the art on my ass. I was trying to do a double melee attack there, but see, that's why you have to be careful with that type of stuff. You can't just throw it out willy-nilly, like I did. You gotta be smarter than me. Which is not too hard to do. Oh, shit. Okay, why is my brain blanking? You saw that, right? Like, I just kept whipping on the shield just out of habit. That was on accident. I accidentally hit, I hit L2 at the same time I hit R2 to shoot. Oopsie. Nice. I kind of wish that you could just pin down a Pinky, though, but I don't think you can. Pin him down, I mean, as, like, you know, shield stuff. Let's hit him with balls. I messed up. I should have went for the kill when I had the chance. Yeah, Dark Ages, for what's worth, like, the main levels, like, even on Nightmare mode, still give you, I feel... just plenty of access to being comfortable. Like, you can get away from things. Who shot that? I don't think I've ever seen that attack before. That I know of. Weirdly enough, I don't remember ever seeing that. Alright, let's grab the girl and get out of here. But unfortunately for her, I got things to do. Yeah, I still miss gold because I think that was the area that I missed that has the arena fight that I remember struggling a lot on. And still do. It's absolutely one of the hardest fights. And I completely missed it. I think this level you have to get Berserk. No, just execution 25 times. Okay. It's the level after this, so you have to use Berserk. So Berserk pretty much works a little bit differently than it did before. Instead of using, you know, instead of switching to your hands to go punch things in the face, your melee is just, and I think your guns too, are like hyper strong. At least, looks like mostly melee. You have infinite melee as well, while in Berserk. And this first arena is just a Berserk arena. You shouldn't really run out of Berserk anytime soon. It's probably better just to use the flail, because at the very least, with the mace, it's kind of a long wind-up. Takes a bit to, you know, whack things with, I guess, but it's still pretty damn good, though, so... Yeah, the level after this, you're gonna need to use Berserk like 25 times or whatever, or kill enemies like 25 times or something like that, I think. You'll see. You'll see what I mean when we get there. Just gotta double check a few things. Oh. There's a guy. Good thing I saw him. I don't think there's anything over here, though. Nope. Okay. Just to get rid of him, because... Fuck you, why not? Ugh. Not worth my time. Not worth the trouble wasting bullets on. And I have no melee either, so... And now we flood it with blood. And we can go all the way up. Luckily, Doomslayer does not actually drown, which is very nice. I think he could back in Eternal, but there was a thing you can get later on that gives you like an upgrade to where you don't have to anymore. There's just guys standing out here waiting for me. Oh. Pfft. Just ghosts. Nothing really to worry about. Okay. I think we bought anything. No, we have bought stuff for a while. Or, I mean, recently, I mean. This area coming up does give me a little bit of trouble, too. But we'll see what happens now. Okay, that was a hell of a good shot. I mean, obviously, if you're going to be firing the super shotgun right in front of somebody's face, most likely it's going to kill him. Alright. Also, something I've been thinking about doing, probably just myself, actually, if anything. As a co-op thing, we've been doing Elden Ring. And then every time we do Elden Ring, we play for like maybe 5 hours and just watch my brother play. And then I mentioned before, like, we should do that for all the Souls games, you know, that'd be cool. As great of an idea that sounds on paper, it's realistically just not a very good idea either, because there's a lot of the Souls games from Software we don't really care much for to play. Like, admittedly, I'm not a big fan of Dark Souls 3, so... And that already pissed some people off. They were like, yeah, I got dislikes on that Poison Swamp video. Because I was talking about how much I just did not like Dark Souls 3. I'm pretty sure that's most likely where it came from. Or, most likely, you know, my friends sending out goons on me, I guess, to dislike all my videos to fuck up my algorithm. I wouldn't be surprised at that either. But no, I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a big fan of 2 much either. And I do kind of suck dick at 1. But basically the idea is, like, we do like 5 hours of just recording it, or, you know, anywhere up to like 5 hours-ish. We just play. It's just a big marathon play. And that's really all it's supposed to be. Just have fun. Watch somebody play the game. And I told my brother, like, it'd be cool if we did it, but I know how you are. Like, you're just gonna get bored watching me. And, you know, remember that thing I said before? Well, shit, I don't remember what video it was even in. That was probably a long time ago, actually. Not that long ago, but still. That was a ways back, where I mentioned that I would like to do single player, like, one person plays a game, the other people watch thing. Because, like, Elden Ring is doing great, you know. I like watching my brother play Elden Ring. I think that's fun. And I mentioned that if I did that for my friend and me, if I played a game or my friend played a game, I think most likely, I mean, I'd probably be fine. But I'm pretty sure my brother would just get bored shitless. He'd start playing on his phone, you know, Blue Archive and that kind of crap. And, you know, for me, it's like, if we're recording, you need to not be dicking around on stuff. Because as soon as okay, maybe it's just I'm autistic, or maybe I'm from the old age of things, who knows. But whenever I see people on their phones or just doing other things, it's an immediate sign of boredom. I'm like, alright, yeah, you're bored. You're bored shitless. And whenever somebody's bored around me, that makes me upset, because I'm trying to be entertaining. I'm trying to keep people entertained. I'm trying to be a good host. And when people are bored near me, it's like, well, I guess I'm boring, you know. So it kind of sucks out the fun of it. Not gonna lie. And you know, I talked to him about it yesterday, and he's like, yeah, that would probably happen. And I'm like, yeah, well, see, at least he's honest about it. That's all I ask for. Just honesty. And so I was thinking, like, if I'm going to do my own thing, maybe I can just record Bloodborne for about my own 5-hour playthrough. But in that case, wouldn't it just be better just to do it as a stream then? I feel like it would just work better that way. I do kind of want to get back into streaming a little bit, but I'm still kind of a bit nervous about it though. That's all. Just one of them things. You know, back in the day when I would stream, I would have issues. People would be dicks. You basically name, yeah. But that's gonna happen anyway. That's just what streams are. People are just like that on streams. It just happens. Just ban them and move on. So I just need to be a lot more willing to do that, I guess. Not to be such a bitch about things. But anyway, the idea sounds neat, but I don't think it's going to work out very well. I think they're all dead. Plus, the problem doing like Bloodborne for 5 hours is if I'm by myself, like I can play the game by myself in my own time, but I know this sounds strange, but there is a point in time where I probably would even get kind of tired myself of talking and just trying to keep up with things the whole time. So I'm sure that could probably happen too. I'm kind of worried about it as well. I'm not gonna fuck with him just yet. We don't need to go over there just yet. We can wait just a little bit because there's gold. But see, that's the thing though. If you're streaming, then you're pretty much just doing that. You're practically talking to yourself for about 5 hours. Or a couple hours. Depending on if people are there or not. I've messed that up 2 times now. That's crazy. But that's what Stream Chat's for, you know? Stream Chat's there to keep you also occupied and entertained. As both the streamer and the chat. We coexist. Like I said, it's just one of those things I weirdly kind of scared of doing sometimes, or just nervous about. I've not done it in a while, so that's why I kind of want to do something else first, just to kind of get back into the groove of it before I start up that hardcore marathon, if I still decide to do it. Because at the end of the day, you know, it's really up to me if it's going to happen or not. That's how you make things fun and good for people, is when, you know, you decide yourself whether or not it's a good idea or not. Because if the person in question doesn't want to do it anymore, then it just kind of ruins the fun, so. Which reminds me, I think one of my people I watch is actually, I think, gonna start quitting streaming, which sucks. I don't watch her that much, but still, it's like, oh, that sucks. It always kind of sucks to see that, though, when you like somebody enough and like, oh, I like you, your content's cool. And then they decide, no more. It's like that, yeah. That's what I'm kind of worried about quitting YouTube fully, though, is I don't want to be somebody's favorite YouTuber or whatever and just quit on them. And besides, I like doing this stuff too much to the point where... Okay, sorry about that, guys. I accidentally hit my Elgato. So, don't worry, you guys won't probably notice much has changed. But yeah, if I slightly touch the cord, the whole thing just goes out. So let's just finish up this episode real quick then, and start the next one. Yeah, all I was talking about really was just like, you know, it sucks when that happens. Something else that kind of sucks too is I'm going to have to edit this video together. Not that that's hard, I have an editor to do it. You just literally just put the 2 videos together and you're done. It's just now I actually have to put in a little bit more work than usual. And watch myself on my time I'm putting through here. Luckily this gold right here is pretty easy to grab, you just walk up to it. This level has some very odd secrets, I feel. Like a couple that sometimes throw me off. Or I have to come back around to grab. don't think there's anything... There is. Oh, there's this. Oh yeah, you have to come over here first and then throw this. But then that little turd shows up. Little turd monkey. Boop. I always love when he grabs those. I don't know why. I just think it just tickles my dopamine, I guess. Something. Alright, this is a bottom area of another area that actually has a top to it, basically, so... No real reason to fight down here or up above. I don't think it really matters. One thing that matters is grabbing the gold down here. Because the fight itself technically is up there. Sort of. The true fight. Basically this ass wipe. You know, I should have read that tip about how to take care of cacodemons when I had the chance. I totally missed it. I'm gonna take a little guess and say that maybe one way to do it is probably via accelerator. Blow them up that way. Like getting rid of their shield thing, I mean. Yeah, see, this is why Shield Bash is good. It gets you in and out of combat. That's why I need to be doing that more effectively than when I've been doing it. And then you can just do this to stun a guy and then just get some damage on him and just kill him that way. Then you don't have to die as much. That's where I think Nightmare is not that hard at, is because of the fact that you can just do stuff when it comes to, you know, shield bashing and all that other crap. Like, you can do that. Boop. Still kind of sucks you don't get anything from killing enemies, though. Except for maybe possibly challenges. Oh, that's about it, really. You don't really get gold out of them. You don't get upgrade points or whatever. But even though you don't get any of that stuff, it still feels nice to fight enemies. I think that's what matters most. That's how you really actually know you got yourself a good game on your hands, when... Even though in all technicality, it might feel like it's not really worth doing, it still tickles your, you know, tickles your brain, so you still like to do it. So to speak. Just a couple collectibles just on the way there. It's alright. Nothing that way. And I think you will come back around here. I think so. Is this... No, this is blue key. Kind of an odd 2D flame texture thing they got going on there. I think for a game like this, they wouldn't really resort to that, but who cares? It don't bother me. I'm just saying it's one of those things like... I'm surprised that they decided to opt out for the cheaper option. Because look, it's basically just... It might be 3D, but it's very low-res 2D looking. Again, nothing wrong with that. It's just funny to me. We missed a couple things, actually. Surprisingly enough. Good thing I can go back and grab them. Because I looked earlier, I didn't see any gold on the way there. Oh, that's from... Oh, that's at the key. Well, shit. Well, hopefully there's a bounce pad back to the key, because that would suck if there's not. There's not. I mean, it's just 5 pieces of gold. I don't really need it that bad, but still, it's going to be kind of annoying not grabbing it. Oh, come on! Fuck you. Get the hell out of my way. I got things to do. I got shit to go grab, dude. That ain't it, is it? No, that's it. Is that... Wait. Oh. I actually love fighting the Pinkies. I think they're one of the most fun enemies in the game to fight. Honestly. Maybe you can. Oh, no, we're too late now. I was gonna say, maybe you can take down the Pinky with a... Or you can stun him, I mean. No. No, you can. It's just without the rider. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. But problem is, once he has no rider on him, it's just like... Why even bother at that point? Bro's already basically dead. I think I mentioned this before, but one good weapon besides Super Shotgun to use against a parry thing like this I'm doing right now is actually the accelerator. Because you can just kind of keep shooting it while, like, you can hold down the fire button while you're using it. Yeah. I had that one coming. Let's just finish up this fight and then we'll call it an episode because I think we're at the point now where it's kind of too deep in. Oh, hey, look at that. There, now I got him. Saved me the trouble. Who would have thunk? And I don't think I need to go back and get that toy, though, either, which is nice. I can just go straight to the Baron fight and everything. And this time we'll try not to forget to use BFG. I'm sure some folks out there are probably, you know, getting upset. They're like, come on, man, just use the damn thing. You'll get ammo back for it, I promise. Yeah, but I feel like you don't. That's why I don't use it. Because I'm a loser. I'll use it when, probably after the riders, probably. Probably that'd be the better option. I don't want to waste it on just them, you know. Once a big guy shows up, I'll just kick his ass with it. Yeah, that'll work. I forget what he's called, but whatever his name was. There he is. Alright, fuck it. There you go. Just use it twice. We'll get ammo back for it, it's fine. I'm just worried about the challenges later where you have to actually use the BFG. Now we have one more health upgrade and then we have full health. Max health, I mean. And I think one more armor upgrade too. I'm pretty sure 150 is the last you get. Okay. Now we head up and do whatever it is we're gonna do, and then we'll end up the episode, like I said. Unless this is a, you know, got something extra to do here. It's a hop skip away. Let's go find out. It's fine. Oh, this is the big fight, I think. Yeah, this is a big outside fight. Shit. Alright. Let's go do it. Yeah, you guys get to watch some extra footage of me being a dunce again. Oh, come on! There we go. That's what I wanted. I should have done that earlier, actually. And that right there is just a sigil that you get out of doing this once you come down here. I think that's all that's down here, actually. Yeah. So there you go. Tiny little fight. Nothing too big. Tiny little husband. Ow. I kind of need that. Well, there goes my sigil. That's fine. Yeah, it's funny because like every time I get a sigil, I end up just losing it the second after. It seems. These motherfucking stealth imps. That's what gets me. Another big fight. Let's just end here, actually. Alright, anyway. That's it for this. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time when we finish up this chapter. And we've only got like maybe a few more chapters to go, so I'm going to wager we'll probably be done around episode 16. Will probably be the last one. Maybe. But anyway, that's it for this. And yeah, take care, everybody.